welcome all the new guests that are here for the first time. Congratulations on taking time out for this. Uh, Again, for those of you here maybe once or twice before, I'm glad to see you back again because repetition is the mother of all learning. So hopefully you learned something from our presentation. But the idea to develop an organization is by using these events to have someone present the business for you rather than you having to learn to do it yourself. So it's kind of a business tool to help you develop your team. So without further ado, I'm just going to get the record button here. Let's get started. Here we go.
Recording in progress.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this Aurum Foundation presentation. I'm here to share with you some fabulous information about a platform we've come across just earlier this year. I don't work for the company at all. I'm not paid by the company to present the information. I'm not even a financial advisor. I can't give you any advice in that respect. I'm here just to share some information with you, to tell you my story, my findings, the due diligence I've done. But of course, you've got to do your own, and you should seek professional advice. Getting involved in any business, any opportunity, it's always prudent to do that. The good news is when we look at the Aurum team and the ownership and the leadership behind it, the guy on the screen, Mr. Brian Benson, is the co-founder and the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. This is great news, and I'll tell you why. Because Brian, when he left university in California, he's from the United States, and he moved into the banking industry, and he worked there and was very, very successful. And he became a trader for the banks. That's how the banks were making their money, and very, very successful there. And he was with the company called Morgan Stanley, if you've heard of those guys. Morgan Stanley, a very good, reputable brand. And from there, then when he left Morgan Stanley, he got into the Web3 space, cryptocurrency and the likes, and he started working for Binance. Now, Binance is very well known. It's a very healthy, probably the most famous of all cryptocurrency exchanges. And there he worked his way up to director. And as a director of Binance, his responsibility was to open all of Latin America. He opened the Mexican market, the Brazilian market, the Chile market, the Peru, Colombia, all of these countries. And his job was to do he had to work out the legalities, the compliance, the relationships between the banking world, the fiat currency, the paper money we use, and the crypto money. He had to do all of that, open the offices, recruit the staff. I mean, his responsibility was massive. And not only that, he was a developer and a trader. And he also had to organize different arrangements for Binance and was very, very successful there. But he's now, because he was only an employee, he's now CEO and co-founder of Aurum. And what he wants to do is he wants to create a unicorn company, just like he did with Binance. He created many millionaires over there, and he wants to do the same here. We're going to hear from him in a moment. I did a quick bit of research on him. I typed in his name, Brian Benson, and I put Binance after it. I then clicked images. And lo and behold, there he was everywhere, which is great news, ladies and gentlemen. He's not some actor or somebody from a jurisdiction or a country we've never heard of, or he's a real person. He is the Brian Benson from Binance. We've got images here when he was younger, when he was older. We've got the Binance logo, the Binance shirt he's wearing. He's got, where else could we got? Lots of stuff here. And Aurum, of course, what we're looking at on this call. And of course, this photograph here was on Forbes. So let's just check. Same guy, definitely Brian Benson. And Forbes, that I just mentioned, have written positively, I think once or twice, about Aurum. And Forbes, if you would consider those guys a reputable media company where they get lots of data and they analyze data and they calculate who are the top 10 richest people in the United States, who are the top 100 richest people in the world. They do these rich lists. I'm sure you're familiar with them. Who are the top 50 wealthiest people in Asia? And they also have the magazine where they feature many of the big CEOs and stuff. But an article here writes about Aurum providing institutional grade trading, and that's incredible. We also learned that he is one of the sponsors of the world's largest cryptocurrency event, and that's happening at the beginning of next month in Singapore. It's called Token 2049. You can see Brian is here. He is the CEO of Aurum. He's speaking at the event. Now, do you know who's going to be here? Anybody and everybody who is somebody in cryptocurrency. CoinMarketCap will be here. Binance will be here. Kraken will be here. All of the big exchanges will be here. All the technology people and the people building technology and blockchain will be here. This is the biggest event. And not only do Aurum sponsor the event, Brian is one of the speakers at the event, which is fantastic, guys. And their logo is all over their website. And I then found out that he'd written some articles on Forbes about fixing money. So not only the Forbes write about him, Forbes permit him to write on their finance council. He wrote an article here about fixing the money with technology, because the present money system we're all involved in is broken. The relationship between our paper money that we use and gold is destroyed. It used to be, to print paper money, you had to have the matching amount of gold in the vault. And if you had the matching amount of gold in the vault, you could issue the currency. And of course, in 1971, that relationship was broken, and it allowed the central banks around the world, and it allowed the Federal Reserve in the United States to print as much money as they wanted, just on paper. And therefore, it has no value. And therefore, we've had crashes, market crashes. We've had inflation, hyperinflation. Some countries have gone bankrupt. I think Venezuela's one. And President Mugabe, if you heard what happened there, the country went into hyperinflation. Incredible. And many of us have witnessed in our lifetime market crashes. And this is due to manipulation of money. But what Brian talks about is it can be fixed if we use blockchain, because blockchain is immutable. You can't change it, edit it, fix it, manipulate it. It's a digital ledger. It's honest. It's fantastic technology. And if you think about Bitcoin, there is a fixed supply. There's only 21 million. There'll never be 22, 23, 24. You can't play with that. And therefore, he talks about this. And that tells you the character, the type of person we have. I decided to go meet the guy. I spent 3 days with him. Some of you guys on this call were with me at this location. We spent 3 days there. We had breakfast with him. We asked him everything. We asked him about where he went to school. We asked him about his career at Morgan Stanley Bank. We asked him what he knows about trading. We asked him, why did you leave Binance? When did you start Binance? We asked him, do you have CZ's number? We asked him everything. And we came away very, very satisfied. But I'd like you to listen to what Brian wants to do here at Aurum and see, does this fit with your goals and your expectations? He wants to create another unicorn company like Binance. Unicorn companies, if you hear that word used, it's like companies that come from nowhere and establish themselves inside 12, 24 months as global giants, not like the long track of the likes of Tesla was a long time developing, Microsoft was a long time developing, Apple. These are monster companies, but companies that come from nowhere, like Binance is the size of that's what he wants to do here. He says to me, he'll not do it as fast as Binance did it, but if it took him 3 years, he'd be very, very happy. He created lots of millionaires over at Binance. Many people that got into Binance in the early days are multi-billionaires now. They got paid in, Brian got paid in BNB tokens. That's how his wages were paid in Binance. Instead of paying him traditional money, he was paid with the BNB token. And it was only 8 cents when it started 8 years ago, just 8 cents for one of them. Today it's $900. So imagine you give me 8 cents and I give you back $900. How would you feel about that? And you did another 8 cents, and I give you another 900, and another 8 cents, and another 900. And imagine these guys got paid in BNB token. Nobody wanted it. And what Brian's going to do is he's going to try to emulate that by creating the Aurum token. And the Aurum token will be used on the Aurum exchange. And there's going to be 2 exchanges, centralized and decentralized. One will require KYC, one will not require KYC. And he wants to create 1,000 millionaires. So it's interesting because I think people need a visionary leader to follow. You've got to have somebody exceptional, somebody that's, and not somebody that's just testing it and trying it out, somebody that's done it. And that's who's the captain of this ship. Let's listen briefly to Brian Benson.
I think if I have to sum it up in one word, it's ecosystem. At Aurum, we're building an ecosystem, and we're really trying to focus on getting this thing to a unicorn status. And what I like to say is we want to create 1,000 millionaires. And so if we can do that, then that will be $1 billion business. That will be a unicorn, and we'll be very excited if we can accomplish that. And we're well on our way to that. So,
absolutely, well on the way. And it's very, very, very exciting that these guys have been around for about 2 years, but they only dealt with the high net worth individuals. They only dealt with what you would call home or family offices or venture capitalists, wealthy people. And now they've opened the doors to all of us because the launch of the exchange is imminent. And what they need to do there is they need a lot of data. They need a lot of users. They need a lot of token holders. They need a lot of wallet holders. And it just can't be focused on Asia or Europe. It's got to be a diverse community that gives value to a token. A token is valued on its utility. What's it used for? What's it needed for? How many token holders? How many wallet holders? How many customers? So now they're opening it up to all of us guys. And that's pretty, pretty exciting. That's probably why you've been invited here tonight to listen to this information. Here's the bad news. It's going to cost you $20 for the year. How does that sound? $20. I call it the price of 4 cups of coffee. Many of us pay gymnasium memberships, which permits us to use the running machine, the rowing machine, the weights lifting, the sauna, the steam room, the swimming pool, and we pay thousands to join these clubs. Or golf is quite expensive as well. But for $20, you've got access for 12 months to exceptional products that can make you money. And there's about 6, 7, 8, 9 products with this company. I've only tried 4 of them. I'm happy with those 4, and those are the only 4 I'll talk about. I will not tell you about a product that I haven't tried or used myself. No different. I will not promote a restaurant to you if I haven't been there, if I haven't eaten and experienced it. Then I can't promote it to you. But for the products that I'm using, I'm happy to tell you my experience and how they've worked for me. I'm going to talk about the EXI bot. That's my favorite product. I'll also talk a little bit about the Pro bot, which is quite good, the Zeus bot, which is very good, and of course the card, which I'm very, very excited about. So, and there are other products as well. But the flagship product is the EXI bot. It's done remarkably well. They have data now going back over 2 years. In its first couple of years, it did like 450%. Now that's sensational. That's sensational. If you get involved in real estate or property, it would take your property about 10 years to double. Now, double is 100%. That gives you an idea. 10 years to double. And that's pretty good, actually. That's getting about 10% a year. If you bought gold, let's say a little gram of gold, or 5 grams of gold, or an ounce of gold, or a kilo, depending on what you can buy, it would take approximately 10 years traditionally for gold to double in its value, about 10 years. But to double, 400% in 2 years, we've got something exceptional here. And the worst producing month was 9.3%. The best producing month was about 23%. The average across the term is about 17 or 18%. Let's call it 17.5%. Now, whilst that's exceptional, guys, we don't get that. That doesn't come to us. That is what Aurum produces. What we get is determined by our deposit in our account. So it depends, let's say you tried $123 as an example. You put in $123, you ask it to trade, you're going to enjoy benefits of about 10% a month, which is very, very good. Let's say you could manage more than that. Let's say you could manage $306, right? So you deposit $306, it's going to fall into a higher category. So you're going to get better rewards. You're going to get about 11%. What about if you could do 3,906? Okay, strange number, isn't it? 3,906. It would fall into the optimal level. So you're going to get about 13%. So really, depending on your deposit, will determine the rewards that you're going to generate. And the good thing is there is no packages. There's no like $100 package, $500, $1,000. There's nothing like that. It's determined by what you want to do, just like your bank account. This is what you might call the neobank, the new banking system in cryptocurrency. So you deposit whatever you want, 706, 439, 12,904, doesn't matter what you deposit, it'll fall into its category and it'll start enjoying those benefits. Now, if you want higher benefits, let's say you put in $220 and you're getting about 10% a month, and next month you get some salary, you get some wages, and you're able to top it up. So if you top up your account, you move to a higher threshold. Now, you don't have to top up your account to move a higher threshold. You can actually trade your way up. And how you do that is you select or nominate the reinvestment button, which means the profit you make today will be added to the principal amount you started with. So both of those will trade tomorrow. You get this compounding effect, and you can actually trade your way up. So I'm going to show you a small account. It's talking about $500 here as an example. Again, past performance is not indicative of future results, but this is a real account. This is live customer data. And this was taken on if you look at the bottom of the screen here, just a few days ago, the 7th of September. Can you see on the bottom right, 7th of September? But the account was started on the 17th of April. 17th of April. So if we go May, June, July, August, and September, even though it was early September, the first week, it's probably about 4.5 months, but let's call it 5. Let's say it's 5 months trading. Well, the profit now is $849. So how does that sound? 849, starting with 500, 849. Let me give you some perspective on that. To work out the percentage profit, you take the profit you earned, which was $349, and you put it over the deposit, which was $500. And you multiply it by 100%, and you'll find out that this account has achieved just less than 70% in just less than 5 months. 70%. So some people can't figure what does that mean. I'll tell you what it means. Imagine you bought a property in your location for $100,000 on the 17th of April this year. And today somebody offered you $170,000 today. You have made 70%. 100,000 becomes 170. You made 70%. Imagine in April you're buying a house for 100,000, and today it's 170,000. Is that good? Of course it's good. It's great, because normally it takes 10 years for the property to double. So if you want to work out, well, what is that monthly? Well, you take 70%, 69.8. By the time it's 5 months, it'll be 70%. But if you divide 70 by 5 months, it works out at 14% a month, which is excellent. Now, look what it says here, 11% a month. I'm very transparent. I like to show the facts. It says you get 11% typically with this account, plus or minus 11%. Why did this account achieve 14% would be my question. You see this little button down here? It's it's not a green button. It's actually a white button inside a green slider. All right, I like to tell you like it is. When you open your account with these guys, this button is not activated. And what happens is every day your profit goes to your account, and you can withdraw that every day. It's not locked in. You just take your profit out every day if you wish. Now, if you decide to engage this button and turn this on, then your profit doesn't go to the wallet. It goes to the exchange. It's added to your principal amount, and both are traded together. So the compounding effect of turning on this button has allowed this account to get on average about 14% instead of 11%. I hope that makes sense to you. That's a small account, $500. Let's have a look at another account. Now, this account here was started a week before that one. Let's go back. That was started on the 17th of April. Do you see that? But this account here we're looking at was started on the 10th of April, just exactly 1 week earlier. But this account was funded with $10,000. And as we look at the screen here, we can see on the bottom right, we're looking at the 16th of May. It's 5 weeks trading. And the $10,000 has now achieved 23% profit. The 10,000 is now sitting at 12,300. How good is that? The next time the account was evaluated was on the 24th of June. Can you see that? This is a timestamp, the 24th of June, at 1:38. The same account started on the 10th of April. The same account ending in 1972 has now jumped up to $15,500. That's 55%. 55% in 10 weeks. After 12 weeks, the account was sitting at $17,000. That's 74%. And after 16 weeks, the same account has doubled. So the last account we looked at, 500 in 5 months, had only done 70%. But at $10,000 had doubled in 4 months, much faster, because it's achieving greater rewards. And both of these accounts are compounding. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do, but I'm just showing you examples of live data. Now, that was the 10th of August. Well, 10th of September was not so long ago. Let's have a look at how the account now looks. And here we go. Same account ending in 1972, started on the 10th of April. That $10,000 is now sitting at $24,000. Imagine that. So that's 142% in just 20 short weeks. So there you go. And that's just one of the products. We call it the EXI bot. It's my favorite. It does the best. It's the longest running. So let's talk maybe about some of their other products. They've got another product over here on the right-hand side of the screen inside the yellow rectangle. This is called the EXI Pro bot. So that one's called the EXI bot. This one's the EXI Pro bot. What's the difference? Well, the Pro is not as long running as the original one. This one's only started in March this year. So it doesn't have the same trading data. It doesn't achieve the same results. But the benefit of this account is that you can withdraw not just your profit when you want it, but also your principal. Absolutely no lock-in on this product, but there is a rule. And the rule says this, that you cannot deposit into the Pro bot any more than what you already have in the EXI bot. In other words, let's say you tried the EXI bot tonight for $300, just as an example. Well, you couldn't put $400 into the Pro bot, but you could put anything up to 300. You could put 112, 119, 218, 300, but you couldn't put in 306. Why? Because you can't have any more in the Pro than what you have over there. So, but it's just a different type of product. Similar, it's got similarities. This is USDT trading. This is spot trading, by the way. And both very good products. I've actually used both of these products. They have another one called the Zoo Spot. And on the right-hand side of the screen here, inside the yellow rectangle and the blue rectangle, both of these are found on Telegram. Now, I'm what I would call a WhatsApp man. I'm not a Telegram man, but I've now learned to go to Telegram, and you'll find these on Telegram. So you search for Aurum Neobank, you click open the application on Telegram, you log in with the same credentials from your main account, and you'll find these bots over there. And it's very useful for people with a little bit of crypto that's sitting doing nothing. You know, some people opened an exchange years ago or months ago, and the money's sitting there doing nothing. It's just going up and down with the market. It's not making you anything. It's just floating up and down. Maybe you have a little bit of BNB sitting over there. Maybe you have a little bit of Ethereum sitting over there. Well, if you have that, there's an opportunity here to bring it across into Telegram. You can take it out anytime you want as well, by the way. You can take out your profit and or principal. The withdrawal fees are 1% plus $1, very low fees. But I'm going to show you now that this account here is trading Bitcoin. Now, the deposit on this account was actually 0.7. And I know this deposit was made on the 31st of May this year. So we're looking at May. So May, June, July, August, 3 months. And we're halfway through September. Okay, so 3 months and 2 weeks, approximately. Right. So it started with 0.7. But it then went 0.74, 0.77, 0.79, 0.81, and that's what we have on the screen, 0.81, but it didn't finish there. It grew every day, and the profit was added to the principal. You have to do it manually, but we'll cover that on our training. But it went from 0.7 all the way up to 0.82, 0.84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 89, 9.1, 9.2. And many people on this call right now with you have witnessed this account growing over the weeks, and they're following this account on a journey to 1 Bitcoin. So this customer is taking 0.7 of a Bitcoin and bringing it all up to 1 full Bitcoin. Isn't that incredible? And you can watch this, and if you come back tomorrow or the next day or next week, we'll have this updated as we go along. So what kind of profit has this made? Well, the Bitcoin was sitting on an exchange doing nothing. It was just changing values, but it wasn't growing. It was always 0.7. It never, if you logged in today, it was 0.7. If you logged in a month ago, it was 0.7. If you logged in 7 months ago, it was 0.7. It wasn't doing anything, just the price was changing. But now it's not 0.7. It's 0.92 and growing. So this account has made the customer 0.22. Now, how much is 0.22 of a Bitcoin? I don't actually know because I'd have to check it out today. But I'm going to suggest it's over $25,000. So here's an account that's made the customer $25,000 without Zoom meetings, without introducing customers. It's just money working for you instead of you working for money. Get your money to do the work, not you do the work for the money. And this is the advantage. Now, you don't have to have 0.7 to do this. You can start with 0.007, or you can start with 0.0009. Even like $100 worth is enough to get going. And you can try Litecoin, BNB, Bitcoin, Pepe. There's only 5 or 6 trade on this, but that just shows you another product as well. Here's a customer put in a full Bitcoin. That customer only put in 0.7. It's now 0.92. It's getting to a full Bitcoin, but this customer started with the Bitcoin. Here's another customer started with 2.75 Bitcoin. And I know this customer here is a ex-bank manager. Yeah. He was bank manager for 17 years, but his 2.75, what do you think it's worth now? 2.81. His Bitcoin's growing as well with this bot. The next product I want to talk about is this fabulous card. Why is it fabulous? Well, it's fabulous because if you look at the card, there's no name on it. I mean, you don't need your name on it. There's no KYC. There's no passport required. There's no utility bill required. There's no driver license required. You can have a Visa card and you can load up your cryptocurrency, USDT. Now, this is the big problem for the industry. People don't know how to turn their fiat currency into crypto. They don't know where to do it, what exchange. How do I convert $100 into Bitcoin? How do I turn $100 into digital USDT dollars? How do I do this? Most people don't know. That's called onboarding or on-ramping. The other problem people have is, well, I have all of this crypto, but I don't know who accepts it. I don't know who takes crypto. You know, I heard some companies are starting to take it. Well, with this solution, guys, everybody takes it because you stop the bot, top the card up. Let's say you made $300 this week. You can stop the bot, take out your $300 profit and send it onto your card and go shopping. And if you're shopping in Dubai, the shopkeeper gets dirham, but you're spending USDT. If you go to the United States, the shopkeeper gets US dollars, but you're spending USDT, cryptocurrency. If you go to UK, you're spending pounds. The shopkeeper gets the pounds, but you're spending USDT. This is an off-ramp solution already in situation. No KYC. You can put 100,000 a month. This is going to be very beneficial for many customers. It's linked to Google Pay and Apple Pay if you want to use the, whatever you call that virtual version. I don't use any of that kind of stuff. I don't have any banking apps on this thing, probably because I don't know how to do it, but I know how to tap this bio, and I know how to put this into the ATM machine and take out the cash. So this is a great card. And a great
Aurum Neobank is a next-generation financial ecosystem with a fully integrated cycle. Top up your balance, earn through the trading bot, spend with your card, and restart the loop. Choose from 4 card tiers: Nova, Imperium, World Elite, and Infinity. Each unlocks access to cryptocurrency payments, low fees, and premium rewards. No verification required. Minimal fees. Physical card included. Higher transaction limits. Take control of your finances and grow your wealth with Aurum Neobank.
There you go. The cards will be starting at $33 with no monthly fees, $66.99 and $249. The $249 one includes the physical card. The others are just virtual. You can only use them with Google Pay and Apple Pay. But that's fine. Lots of people use that. They don't want to carry this around. I'm more familiar with this. I'm old school. I'm not a technical person, so I like this guy here. So I'm happy with this one. No KYC, the lowest fees, 2.2%, and the most commission. So there's $150 out of every card goes to the team. All right. So if some of you guys, or if I move this card into a customer's hands, there's $150 commission for the network. You can put $100,000 a month, and the 2.2% loading fees comes back to the network as well. So I'm only going to promote the Infinity card. We cover this at our training. We do training quite regularly. I'll explain more about how you can make money with this card, but how would you like paid when your next door neighbor goes and fills their car up with fuel? We'll put this card in their hand, get them started using it, and every time they load this card, you make money. What about when your next door neighbor goes to the ATM machine to draw some cash? You get paid. What about when they go and spend their groceries? What if they book a holiday? You get paid. Imagine getting paid over and over and over again every time your customers spend money. I will teach you more about that, but I'm just giving you an overview tonight on how it works. I'd like to show you the card in operation. These are the first 2 transactions ever done in the United Kingdom, and this card works all over the world.
Right, here we go. First transaction in the UK for the Aurum card. Let's see this working. Authorised. Happy days.
And then he popped into the local grocery store to grab some milk for the household, and off he went paying with USD.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
Purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Mina.
There you go. And now I want to show you it working at an ATM machine. This is sensational. Okay, in goes the Aurum card. Balance. Okay, so there's 5,720 on the thing. Let's do a transaction. Let's take out cash in the machine. Let's take out other. Maximum 800. And correct. So the fee is $3.99. Accept and proceed. £20 notes, that's over $1,000. Most of these machines appear to be restricted to about, like in the UK, it tends to be £250 is the most it'll give you. And if you try to go a second time, it would say, no, come back tomorrow. They kind of limit the withdrawals. You just saw that card there taking out 800, and that's why it was so hard to grab. You couldn't take any more out because it would be too thick to come out the slot. So that was exceptional. That was my first experience taking out £800 out of one of these machines. But not only that, you could go back again and again and again and again, which is incredible. So if you make profit on these bots, that's how you spend it. You either stop the bot, send the profit up onto the card, and then go to the ATM and take out the cash, or go and spend it in the shop. So it's an off-ramping solution, and we actually get paid when people do that as well. So it's incredible. We get paid when people deposit. We get paid when people make money. We get paid when people withdraw. No, not really withdraw, but when they load it to this, there's a 2.2% fee. So we get paid on that as well. We get paid when they order their card. Lots of ways to make money here, guys. Pretty exciting. And that's our presentation over. In 30 minutes, we've covered a lot about this company, the CEO. We've talked about a little bit of due diligence we did on the internet. We Googled them. We actually went and met them and talked to them. We found out that he's speaking at the world's largest blockchain summit. We found articles written in Forbes magazine. We know there's a relationship with Visa, because you can't get Aurum on a Visa card. They won't issue that. So obviously the issuing bank must have done their due diligence on this company. They would have to do more due diligence than us, because they permit this company to issue this card. It works beautifully. So we're very pleased with what we found. But of course, it's up to you to do your own due diligence, to make your own decision. You're a big boy now. You're a big girl now. You decide if this is for you. But please do get back to the person that shared this with you. Get your very valid questions answered. And of course, if you like what you see, we'd love you to come on board and enjoy some of the benefits here. For those of you who'd like to stay on just for a few minutes, I'd like to share with you our partner program. This is something else. This is optional. You don't have to do this. You don't have to tell anybody. Do you see those accounts that we looked at? The 10,000 becoming 24,000, the 500 becoming 849, the 0.7 Bitcoin becoming 0.92. That's without any customers. That's just happening if you want that. If you'd like to share this idea with others, then you can make even more. And that's what we call our affiliate program. Affiliate programs are very popular today. Many businesses are using it. It would surprise you. If any of you know of Tesco from the UK and other parts of Europe, not all parts of Europe, but they operate quite a big conglomerate. They supply probably 40% of every home in the UK with their weekly groceries. Tesco have an affiliate program. And by promoting Tesco, you can get rewards from Tesco. Many of the banks are offering affiliate programs. Apple, go to the bottom of their website, click affiliate program. So affiliate programs are the new way of doing business. Aurum have decided to do this as well. They've decided to go the affiliate route. Why? Because you cannot explain this on television in a 30-second commercial. It took me 30 minutes. So you couldn't pay for 30 minutes advertising. Who would watch a 30-minute advertising? So they've decided to pay us for explaining, pay us for teaching and training, pay us rewards, and rightly so. So there are 15 career levels inside our affiliate program. Everybody starts at Nova. And when you start off, you get a 3% reward. It's like a handshake. Hey, you brought us a customer. They put in $100. There you go. There's 3%. There's $3. If they put in $1,000, you get 30. If they put in 10,000, you get 300. You get 3% of every deposit into that first product, that EXI bot that we looked at. Only one rule, guys. This doesn't cost anything, by the way. This is free. This comes with it. With your account, you get a referral link. You decide to use it or not. So it's optional, okay? But if you decided to think this is a good idea and you share it with somebody, the only rule is this, that you must have an account yourself operating. Brian Benson said this to me: I don't want anybody promoting my products or my card or my service unless they're using them themselves. And that makes sense to me. Because let's say you tried $100 and you didn't like it. Sure, you wouldn't tell anybody, would you? So you have to be a customer, because he thinks there's nobody better to promote any product or any service than an existing happy customer. Okay? So $100 minimum. And that means everybody on the planet essentially could have an account here. And that's what's exciting. You can start with $100. Doesn't matter which continent you're from. Even if $100 was too much, two members of the family could put $50 each together and get started. And it's incredible. You make 3% on every deposit. Now, who wants 3% when there's 5% available? And to get 5%, all you have to do is accumulate 7,500 of total trading team volume. Now, you mightn't have to bring the 7,000. You might bring 100 of it or 200 of it. And one of those customers brings in 100. And one of those customers down there brings in 500. And one of those customers brings in 1,000. And one of those customers. So it's total group sales. In the EXI bot, when it reaches 7,500, you hit the rank of Voyager, right? You still don't need any more than 100 trading. This is great. And you get your 100 back. Now imagine a platform where you're at a risk as quick as that. 100 in, 100 out. You get your own deposit back. Now, it's up to you what you do with that. Send it to the card if you want to go spend it. Add it to your existing 100 if you want it to grow bigger, or withdraw to any wallet of your choice. I think this is very fair. I think this is very reasonable. I think this is it's a great situation for anybody with this particular comp plan. Now, in addition to it, there's a bigger bonus coming. You get 5% every day on the profits generated by all of your customers. Now, let's say you don't have any Bitcoin and you introduce me, and I do have Bitcoin, and I put in a little bit of Bitcoin, and I make money every day. You get 5% of that, even though you don't have any Bitcoin in the system, or Ethereum, or Doge, or Pepe. So this is a great bonus. It's a daily matching bonus. It's profit from the team profit. Okay? So if somebody puts in Bitcoin, you don't make any money, but when they make profit, you get 5% on the profit. This is profit on team profit. This is great as well. Now, of course, who wants 5% when there's more? Because you could go Vanguard and accumulate $25,000. Adam, who's on tonight's call, introduced his very first customer who started with $50,000. And that moved him from Nova to Voyager to Vanguard. It almost got him pro. He had 50,000. He needed 62.5 with one customer. He went up those ranks, but he gets 7% on the deposits, 7.5% every day on the profits. He got a $500 bonus himself, and he only needed 300 trading. So again, we cover a lot more of this training, but it's very, very simple. It's just progression of the same products growing and growing and growing. You can qualify for 9%, 10.5%, 12%, 13.5% on deposits, 17.5% daily matching bonus. How good is that? You can actually qualify for shareholder bonuses. This is exciting. Imagine you're new today, but this company's operating for a couple of years. Imagine you got paid on all the profits from all of the other customers who are not in your business. That's possible when you hit the rank of Oracle. You get a $1,000 bonus, a $2,000 bonus, a $5,000, a $10,000. Guys, I told you there were 15 ranks. We've only covered 7 of them. There's 8 more. It just gets better. A $20,000 bonus, a $50,000, a $100,000 bonus. Guys, what about a $500,000 bonus? In fact, do you remember what Brian Benson said at the start of our meeting? I want to create 1,000 millionaires. And I can tell you, anyone that reaches between, I suppose, the rank of Legend and Dominion, you're going to be a millionaire. Why? Well, Dominion pays a $500,000 bonus. The one before it, you would have already had 150. That's 650, 750, 800,000, 820,000, plus the first page, plus 17.5% on deposits, plus 25% daily matching bonuses. Sensational comp plan, guys, and very easy. Now, if you're only seeing this for the first time, it might sound complicated, but it's simple. In fact, if you don't understand it, it still works. Let me tell you that. It's a bit like your own car. If you have a car, you turn the key, you start driving, but do you really know how the fuel gets from the tank up through the engine, in through here, and all that stuff works in the engine? No, not really. The vehicle gets you from A to B. Aurum will get you from where you are now financially to where you'd like to be. You don't have to know how the vehicle works because the software, the programmers, the AI, everything does it itself for you, and you just keep going up the ranks. So that is our presentation over tonight. Again, just evidence of some withdrawals. Here's an account that on the 19th of April, 0.1 of a Bitcoin was taken out. It gives you the hash transaction ID for every single transaction. It gives you the wallet address. 8 days later, this customer took out $500. A month after that, they took out $5,000. 2 days after they took out the $5,000, they took on the 29th of May, $4,500 more. 18 days after that, the 17th of June, they took out $10,000, and it doesn't stop there. They took out $3,500 on the 4th of July, $20,000 on the 7th of July. And here's the question people ask, well, what's the withdrawal fees like? What does that look like? Well, it looks great. I'll tell you why, because this customer who withdrew $20,000 received $19,799. The fee was 1% plus $1. The customer had 2 choices. They can withdraw that to any wallet, and the wallet we're looking at is a trust wallet, a decentralized wallet. But you could equally have just topped up your card and sent the $20,000 onto the card and go spend it. So there you go. More withdrawals. I don't think we need to talk any more about that. It's just incredible. Look at this, a $30,000 withdrawal done on the 12th of August. 2 days later, $6,500. 5 days after that, $4,500. The next day, $10,000. Sensational. Sensational. So again, what I'd say is get back to the person that shared this information with you. Get your questions answered. If you like what you hear, well, why not give it a shot? Try it out for $100. See how you go. And I wish you every success in whatever decision you come to. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our presentation over. We'll see you again. Same link, same time tomorrow. Don't come alone. Here's why. 4 eyes are better than 2. 2 brains are better than 1. Bring somebody along, get their opinion on it, and of course, make your own informed decision and come join us. Thank you very much, everyone. That's us done in 40 minutes. Good night.